G'day world, Chris Hogan coming to you live from the Sunshine Coast, and we're at the Innovation Centre, as you can see behind me, and I'm here with Ian Mason, who is the Entrepreneur in Residence for the Chief Entrepreneur's Office for Advanced Queensland. And today you're visiting the Sunshine Coast, chipping in for Steve Baxter, who couldn't make it today. But mate, what's today been like? You've been to a couple of schools and hung out at the Innovation Centre, seen a few pitches. What's the general feel of I guess innovation on Sunshine Coast like?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had an awesome day. I think it's really refreshing to be able to come out and see what's happening in an ecosystem like this. I think it's been great to get the full picture, the full spectrum from what young children are learning at school, which is just far surpasses the facilities that I ever had when I was at school back in the UK, right the way through to how some of the larger businesses, once they've been incubated for a while, are looked after in a facility like this here. So I think getting the full picture is really valuable. What I've seen, lots of really cool startups, some people doing some really interesting things that will be interesting not just regionally or even nationally, but across the world. And there's quite a few businesses that you can see doing really well in Europe, in the States, and even in Asia as well. So really great to see all of that happening here on the Sunshine Coast.
And so you're co-founder of Virgin Startup. What does that mean?
Yeah, so about 5 years ago, myself and a couple of colleagues got an awesome brief, which was to go out and find a way of supporting as many entrepreneurs as we can, but do so in a way which is sort of nationally recognised as being excellent. And back then in the UK, and even now to some degree, the quality of support for startups is pretty rubbish. It's just not good enough. And over the last 5 years, we together have built a huge number of different programs, different classes, different funding schemes where people are actually starting to be able to take an idea, take a dream that they've had, or take an established business and take everything to the next level. And it's been awesome to be part of that.
Great. So I needed to bring that up because you brought up the fact that these companies are actually global, I guess, capable companies.
Yep.
What's the importance of companies these days and startups to think global first?
Yeah.
Why do we need to think like that?
So I think it's about a mindset. So I always talk about entrepreneurship, and I've said this before this morning. It's about having the right mindset and the right skill set. And part of that mindset is not being boxed in, not sort of being limited by anything that happens in this country, always having like a really open mind to where the possibilities exist. And the same thing is true when you think about growing a business internationally, is that the only thing stopping you, for most ideas anyway, is your own mindset. And so opening up at the beginning and looking at where those opportunities are. I myself, for example, am here not just working for the Office of the Chief Entrepreneur, but launching my own business in Australia. And I'm doing that at the same time as launching in the UK, and next year will be in the States as well. And it is a totally different way of doing things that not many people are doing, but there is no reason why you can't do that. So I think it's kind of opening your mind to the possibilities and just going for it from there.
So a lot of people are, they find it hard just starting a business,
Sure.
let alone going global. So, where do you think they need to start with I guess this approach, of going global? Apart from opening their mind, where or who do they open their minds to?
Yeah. So I guess, as I say, it is mindset. Second thing to do is just to understand. Right? So I'm here, I'm doing a number of different things while I'm here, but actually the most important thing is me talking to teachers, talking to parents, understanding my business in education, and understanding how things work here, because UK and Australia are very, very, very similar cultures, but there will be some really big differences, which I will only find out by talking to people. So spending some time where you want to expand, listening to people, talking to people, understanding, and then developing a model which is unique to the country, but is based on the same things as you're doing elsewhere.
Yeah, fantastic. And so what is this other business that you are starting?
So my background, as well as all the startup stuff, is actually in education. So I built a company in the UK which teaches kids to pass exams, so textbooks and workbooks for maths, English, science, all those sorts of things. This new company is looking at very young children, 0 to 7 years old basically, and it's wondering how can we get parents more involved in educating their children in a way that's constructive, because most parents don't have the time, so that education needs to be more accessible. Don't know where to start, so education needs to be more accessible and doing that for your children. And I think that's a problem that we're trying to solve. Looking forward to what the next couple of years entails.
Great. And if you had a favourite moment from today, it's a hard one. But
it is a hard one. I'm going to be cheeky and tell you two. First of all, it was really cool seeing what the kids are up to in the school round here.
That was so cool.
Very cool, and they're doing it on an international scale as well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Second one, I love the pictures this afternoon because there's some really great businesses in there.
Yeah.
So that's been really, really cool.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for your time, Ian. How do people stay across what you're up to specifically?
Yeah, sure. So follow me on social media. So I'm on Twitter, IJ Mason, same on LinkedIn, or you can visit my website and sign up to find out more about what's happening.
What's that one? What's the website?
ianmason.co.uk.
Beautiful. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Plenty more coming to you live on facebook.com/Beach City Life. You're hanging out with us again tomorrow with Steve.
Yep.
And we've got a breakfast in the morning, so you can be up early watching live there. And we're also on YouTube. Just search for Beach City. Check us out on LinkedIn and Twitter. Thanks, guys.